And hello, welcome to Solo Playthroughs. We're going to go back to the Realm of the Dead. That is right. I don't know why I wanted to play Realm of the Dead today, but I do. It's been a while. So I was going to do something with Arethia, and I was like, you know what? What haven't I done in a while? Well, first of all, I realized I've been neglecting Mr. Tovak. Tovak did come through big in a solo Megapolis Blitz months ago, and I just haven't put him on the channel since. So it was time to get him back, and Realm of the Dead is probably good for Tovak because all that extra defense could actually come very much in handy with the number of enemies in the Dark Crusader faction that have paralyzed. Huge. So screw it, let's do it. We're gonna get this thing set up. So here is the Dark Crusader faction token. I have the Dark Crusader faction enemies. We're gonna have to put those up in piles. I do want to get the terrain organized first and kind of clean up all this mess a little bit. Now, some special rules. Again, we have 2 days, 2 nights. So we do have some benefits to help us along. We will start with 1 fame. Every time we cross a fame threshold, we get an additional fame to get us that much closer to the next one. We will start at +1 reputation for our augmentation there, and we will have 4 dice in the source. I'll go ahead and roll those. We get a white, a green, a blue, and another white. They will come over here. The terrain deck will have 5 countryside tiles. It will have the blue city, which will become the Necropolis, so it is home to the Necromancer himself. And then we will have the green city. It is a friendly city. We'll put a shield on there, so if we're adjacent to it, we'll get a +1 to our card draw, but there is no garrison there to defeat. It's just surrounded by a bunch of wonderful orcs, and then there will be 1 core non-city tile. Exactly 2 of the countryside tiles will have magical glades. Those magical glades will become graveyards. We will need to defeat a certain assortment of enemies depending on which graveyard it is, the first or the second. Once we do, we will liberate it, and then once we spend a mana on the subsequent turn to seal that graveyard to prevent all the darkness from continuing to emanate from that graveyard, then we will go ahead and get +1 to our reputation. Additionally, we will have the pursuit mechanic in play. It does not apply to any rampaging enemies that are on the map during setup, but anytime we explore a tile and there is a rampaging enemy on it, it will have pursuit, and we will see how that works out. It just means that after the movement phase of your turn, then you will have to do something with the pursuing enemies and proceed to the action phase of your turn. If that enemy is adjacent to you when it's pursuing, well, guess what? Now you're fighting that enemy, and that becomes the action for your turns. One of the nice things about the Realm of the Dead is that I actually think for new players, it can be really helpful to have the turn broken down from movement phase to action phase. It's a concept that's mentioned in the rule book, but I think could be highlighted a lot better. That text is really, really, really tiny, right? So this scenario really brings that to bear because it kind of makes you go through your turn movement phase, action phase, movement phase, action phase a little bit more clearly. I'm going to now roll a die to figure out which one of these we're taking. Have a D6. So we need 2 of these tiles because these are the countryside tiles that have magical glades. So I rolled a 2, so that's number 2. And then I rolled a 6. There's only 5 left. Not helpful. We have a 4. Those are our magical glade countryside tiles. We now need 3 of these other countryside tiles. Not gonna go too nuts here, just gonna drop 3 off at some point. When will I stop shuffling? Who knows? No one knows, even me. All right, maybe I know. I'm gonna stop right there. 1, 2, 3. And I will go ahead though and roll the die because the order those magical glades come out could be very important. So let's make sure it's really, really random. So I rolled a 3, bam, I rolled a 2. We have a 1, 2, and then 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 on top. Cool, cool. We will put 2 countryside tiles on the board to start because we are playing in our normal wedge map here. I need 1 core non-city tile to round out our terrain deck here. So I'm going to roll the die. It's a 1. There we go. Those can go away. And now we have the green city again and the blue city, which will become the Necropolis. I'm going to shuffle these 3 up to some level of me not knowing which is which, and then we will roll dice. There's 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the bottom of our terrain deck. Here we go. That's done. We'll come back to that in a second. I'm going to shuffle up our spells. See what we can get in the spell offer. So one of the things that I find interesting about Realm of the Dead is that you don't get the guaranteed benefits from defeating everyone in a graveyard every time, but you do get benefits. It just depends on, again, is it the first graveyard or the second graveyard in a solo game? If you're playing with more than one person, then there actually will be a third graveyard and could be a fourth graveyard, and the enemies get progressively harder. Now, when you're playing Life and Death, every time you defeat the enemies in a graveyard, which would be on the northern part of the wedge, you always get a spell, and every time you defeat the enemies from the Elementalist faction on the south, you always get a artifact. And again, it's one of the reasons I do find in Life and Death, you always want to do Elementalist faction first and then move over, because I just find that's a much easier way to go. Well, here, we're kind of forced to go the hard way. You need to take out that Dark Crusader faction. We have Restoration, Cure, and Whirlwind. Disease could be a really strong play for us, especially with Tovak. If we really lean into that block, all blocked enemies get their armor reduced to 1 is just such a sick effect. So we'll see. The recommended level for the Necromancer is a 4. I'm going to bump it up to 6. I never even played it on 5, and I literally am just jumping right into this right now because I just, feel invincible after that live Volcari's Return playthrough. But we'll see. I mean, if we're like crawling to the Necromancer, maybe I'll reserve the right to make it a 5 instead of a 6, but I feel good about 6. Let's do it. We have advanced actions. Steady tempo could be huge. Maximal effect and Pathfinder. Steady tempo is a card I undervalued for a very long time, but we'll see if we go about in getting that. I'm going to shuffle up the units. There will be 4 units in the offer, just like there are 4 dice in the source. So hopefully we have a chance to recruit a unit. We will need these countryside tiles to cooperate to some level to make that a possibility. So we're going to put 4 out. We have the peasants. We have the scouts. We have the guardian columns, and we have the shock troops. The best part is none of them are indecisive. That's right. They know what side they're on. They are anti the Necromancer. Woo, that's good to know. Don't have to worry about losing any of these cowards of units to the dark side. We are going to be standing together side by side against the forces of evil itself today. That is for sure. At least that's the theory. We are going to shuffle up my skills. Obviously, we'll need to get a dummy player set of cards and a dummy player set of skills. We'll get to that in 1 second. As I've said before, discoloration issue. So this is the cooperative skill. I'll just put this off to the side. If I pull the competitive, then I'll just sub in the cooperative one. I'll shuffle up the Dark Crusader factions. I do not have separate little bags for these guys. Seems a little silly to go that far when I don't play these Tezla scenarios all that much. So there are only 8 Dark Crusader green enemy tokens. I do wish there were a couple of more. And then we have 4 of the monsters and 4 of the dragons. Again, lot of vampiric, lot of paralyze, lot of annoying little things to have to keep in mind. So we'll see how that goes. We are going to shuffle up the artifacts. That's good. Put my handy stone on that so we know that's the artifact deck. We have our faction tokens. Again, there are 12 Dark Crusader faction tokens. You get them as a reward for when you defeat them. They can come in handy. Now, there are only 6 different types. You cannot use a token of the same name more than once on your turn, even if you have both of them, but you can use multiple different types of tokens, and knowing what they do and what they are in using them to your max advantage can be really important in winning the scenario. Ideally, you're able to save a few of them until you get up against the Necromancer themselves. All right, I think everything else is done except for the dummy players. So to my left, I have Goldix, Bravelar, Wolfhawk, Norawas, Krang, and Arethia. D6 time. Arethia's in the house. She's like, I thought I was going to be the star of the show tonight. Greg, what are you doing with Tovak? Ugh. And I know how she feels, but, it was this time. It was time for Tovak's time to shine. That is the correct statement here. So I will need to take this skill out. Again, the discoloration is especially bad with these 2. We have the discoloration twinsies here. I'm going to shuffle up her skills, put them over by Tovak's. I'm going to need to get her turn order and her mini, so I put her away too quickly. And I will also have to get her D-deck. Arethia's in the house. So we have her little explanation of skill chart. I have her card here. She's going to start with 2 reds and a white. This is a normal D-deck timer, unlike the Volcare scenarios. And we will have to do the normal housekeeping in between the various rounds here. But there are only 4 of them, so not that much housekeeping here. And this can go especially quick if you are not careful. You will really need to make the most of your turns. It's not like Solo Conquest where you can occasionally have like a bad round. You cannot have a bad round in these 4 round scenarios. It just will not work out for you very well. But I love Arethia's skills. I think they could come in handy. We'll see if we take any of the dummy player skills here today. So Arethia's deck is shuffled. Let me count to make sure there's 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. That is done. She'll go there. We're going to count to make sure I have 16 cards in my Tovak deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Think I broke some cobwebs off. And going through this deck. I mean, it's far from the longest I haven't played Tovak, but it feels like it's been a while. That Solo Conquest Blitz was forever ago. I'm going to put the Necropolis up there. We have some wounds down here. I'll just keep them off camera. And let's get to it. The first terrain tile is a doozy. We got ourselves a maze. We got ourselves an orc. Again, this orc will not be pursuing because it is one that's set up during setup. It will not be a Dark Crusader green enemy either. It is going to be a normal rampaging orc. We have ourselves a advanced action in the unit offer. It's going to be Spellforge. Doubtful I get it, but we'll see. Gonna put a little die on top of that. And then we're gonna have the final starting tile is this one. It's a magical glade. Dun, dun, dun. So it will also have a rampaging orc. I do like how that kind of loops back to the monastery there, and that hag is behind a wall. That could be really helpful. This one is an orc war beast, so a little concentration plus a swiftness could come in handy. Perhaps it would also come in handy if I had this facing the right direction, like so. There you go. So not as ideal because it's now forest and not, you know, actually plains that go right there. I knew something looked a little bit off, so that will have to do. And then we are going to do our first graveyard. It's very dark in the countryside of Atlantis. Now look, night rules apply in the graveyard. However, until you liberate it, you're not going to get that 1 black mana that you're going to want to seal that sucker. And sealing is a separate process from liberation. I don't know. It's a weird mechanic, but I digress. And we are going to put a couple of monsters there. So the first magical glade, which is revealed, we're going to put on it 2 Dark Crusader tokens. They're both going to be green Dark Crusader enemies. So we're getting 2 of these. They're hanging out in a graveyard because that's what those suckers do. They like it there. It's warm and cozy, I guess. And now we can go ahead and draw our starting hand. So first hand coming up, mana draw, crystallize, march, cold toughness, and march. I got neither a concentration nor a swiftness, so much for orc war beast range attack here. We'll see if we want to go ahead and just try to take those suckers out. Cold toughness can come in handy. One of them's pretty guaranteed to have paralyzed, just the way the Dark Crusader faction is. So what I'm going to do is take planning like normal. Now you will choose your tactic first before the dummy player. The dummy player will then choose theirs, and both will come out of the game. So we will not be able to use the same tactic more than once like normal. In Mage Knight, I'm going to roll for the dummy player. I rolled a 4. I already took 4 sucker. Well, it took 3, and it's like, well, now I'm going to go first. So who's the sucker now? Good point, Arethia. Good point. This goes out. She's going to have her turn. The first 3 cards coming off is a blue. It's a green. It's a white. 1 white crystal there. And that is all she wrote. Did we get rid of any reds? We did not. That's great. Makes me really happy. My turn. The graveyards kind of function like dungeons, and I can be on top of the space, and I won't actually initiate a fight until I enter it, but I won't see what those enemies are either until I actually enter it to fight. But I'm going to play March. I'm going to power it with a green from the source. That gives me move 4. Additionally, I'm going to play this march and this sideways. That gives me move 7. That's going to get me into the graveyard. Move 8 would get me into the village, but I kind of like chilling here. Let's see what I pick up. I will have planning, so that will give me an additional card because I still have 2 in my hand. I'm going to roll that. It's a gold. Night rules apply in the graveyard, so that gold is actually not that good. And now I'm going to pull up to my hand limit. My hand limit again is 5, plus 1 from planning is going to make it a 6. We get promise, we get rage, we get stamina, and we get concentration. I'm tempted to go over here and pick up the peasants because it would give me movement back and give me a little bit of a meat soak if I really need it. This influence card in my hand is nice, and then I could actually pillage the village and I think just have a better shot at liberating this magical glade on this first day. So Arethea goes, it's a blue, it's a red, the next card is a blue. That's it. So only gone through 7 cards out of the 16 in her first 2 turns. My turn, I'm going to play stamina, move into the village. While there, I'm going to play promise. I'm going to power it with a white, and I am going to grab, I think the peasants are just a wee bit stronger, plus they have 3 armor and not 2. So that's going to go with me. Every time I give the scouts a chance, they disappoint me, scouts. It's what you do. So I'm going to roll that. It's a blue. Now I'm going to draw to my hand limit, which is 5, plus 1 because of planning. And then, oh yeah, we're pillaging the village, and we're going to get 2 more. Yeah, pillage. That's the way that works. Arethea is going a blue, a white. It's gotta be, no, a green. There's 3 reds left in that deck. Kids, guess when those are coming out. So best get moving. I'm going to use the peasants, and I'm going to use stamina. That gives me move 4, which is enough to get into the graveyard. I'm going to now try to liberate the graveyard. Night rules are applying. And what do we have? So we have a skeletal something or other and a zombies. Zombies have cumbersome, but they are attacking with 3 attacks of 1. But if I spent 3 points of movement starting now, so this extra movement I had from going in there doesn't matter, but I could actually lump their attacks and get rid of all 3 of those attacks separately. Otherwise, it'd be block 1, block 1, block 1. So you're more efficient doing a move cumbersome thing with them. Then we have the Skeletal Warriors. So the Skeletal Warriors only have 4 armor and they're attacking 3. So this is actually a really nice draw. These guys are not that big of a deal at all. Should be able to defeat them both pretty easily. Let's just see how I want to do it. I think it's going to make the most sense to play mana draw to get this white. I can turn another die into source or whatever color I want. I'm going to turn this to green, get 2 green crystals, and then I'm going to use concentration and I'm going to power up swiftness. So we're going to have range attack 5. That's going to be enough to wipe out the zombies. Now we're going to have this Skeletal Warrior. This green is going to be useless, but I just really wanted that range attack 5 and the zombies. It just made the most sense for me. And now I'm going to play cold toughness for ice block 3. And then I can play these 2 rages. That's going to give me attack 4. You know what? While I'm looking at this, maybe instead of actually wasting concentration, because concentration can come in handy, I'm going to turn this to a white, and I'm going to take 2 white mana, and I'm going to just get range attack 6. That will wipe out the zombies. And then again, we blocked the Skeletal Warrior with cold toughness, and now we have the 4 attack from the rage to defeat that dude. Very cool. We have defeated both of these enemies. They combined to give us, wait for it, 3 fame, but we will get 2 of the Dark Crusader faction tokens. Again, their fame amount's very, very poor because you're supposed to supplement it with those faction tokens, which can come in handy when you know how to use them for influence and whatnot. During interaction, you could spend them for 1 fame or 3 influence. There's some utility there. However, it's not a lot of fame. So we get 3 fame. That does make us level up. So we're going to jump up again to 5. We're going to get 2 of these tokens. What do we get? First, we get the Staff of Concealment. Move 2. Your movement does not provoke rampaging enemies or enemies with ambush this turn. Also, any enemies pursuing you are not moved and do not attack you this turn. So that's pretty strong. And then we also have the Vampiric Chalice. After combat this turn, for each enemy you defeated, you may discard a wound to a maximum of 4. I used to play that you could throw out a wound. I realized it's not that strong. It's just discarding a wound, so it allows you more card draw for the next turn. So Interesting, don't love it. That's the kind of one I might just give away for influence if I really needed it to recruit something. I'm going to put these away. We have liberated the graveyard, but we have not sealed it, but we will get a reward. When you defeat the last enemy in the first graveyard, you're going to get an advanced action. So let's clean up my play area. This goes back in as white. This gets rolled. It's green. I'm going to get an advanced action. I will take steady tempo. That gets replaced with diplomacy. Interesting. I can use influence as block. I mean, if I just lean into this Tovak thing, why the heck not, right? And now we're going to do our level up. What are my options? So we have resistance break. Once a turn, I could choose an enemy token. It gets -1 armor for each resistance it has to a minimum of 1. Remember, that will not work against the Necromancer himself because he has arcane immunity. Or we can get Who Needs Magic. Once a turn, 1 card played sideways gives me +2 instead of +1. And if I use no die from the source this turn, it gives me +3 instead. I'm going to take this one. I mean, I'm trying to think about how many resistances there are in this faction. It's been a while. I think there's a lot of fire resistance if I'm not mistaken. So it actually could come in handy. Yeah, let me do that. That's fine. That's fine. And then we're going to take one of Arethia's skills added to the offer. It's her motivation. Like to see that. And now I can grab a advanced action from the source as part of my level up. I'm going to take diplomacy. That will go there. Magic talent. Oh, man, I love that card. All right, this goes here. You know what, actually? I still have my heal card. I'm going to keep Ice Toughness in my hand, and I would not have blocked the Skeletal Warrior. He doesn't have Vampiric or anything, so it just doesn't matter. It's 3 damage, and I'm just going to use that to wound the peasants, because then I can just heal them and still have the ice block and maybe take out that Orc Warbeast this turn. I think that will be important. Sorry, peasants, that's what you get. And plus planning will now trigger. So I'm going to draw to my hand limit, which is 5 +1 because of planning. I still have 1 card left in my D deck. Arethia, what do you say? She goes with a green and a white. Woo! 1 coming off. It's got to be red, of course. My turn. I really do want to kill that dude. 5 attack, though. Yikes. Can I get 5 attack? Ooh, you know what? I can reduce his armor down to 3. That's funny. That will totally work against him. So I need to block him, though, and then just get 3 attack. I think I can get 3 attack this way. Great. We'll do it this way. So beginning of my turn, I get a black mana. I'm going to use it to seal the graveyard. So the graveyard's sealed. My reputation goes up because everyone's happy I sealed the graveyard. So we mark it with a shield. We know it's sealed. Awesome. So I'm going to play steady tempo. I'm going to use the green die from the source. That gives me move 4. At the end of this turn, instead of putting this card on my discard pile, I may place it on top of my D deck. How wonderful. So I'm going to move 4 here. Oh, that provokes an attack from the Orc Warbeast. I'm now going to play Cold Toughness for Ice Block 3. I'm going to use my skill, reduce the armor from 5 down to 3, and then I'm going to play these 3 cards sideways to defeat the Orc Warbeast. So I get +1 reputation because I defeated a rampaging enemy. I'm going to get +3 fame. That gives me a level up. Since I jumped a level, I go up +1. I'm going to get another command token here, which is really nice. And then after this battle is over, I will play Tranquility, gives me heal 1. I will heal up my peasants. I'm going to roll this die. It is now green. So it's really important actually to get Cold Toughness back. More important than I realized. And because I had powered up steady tempo, as its name says, it's going to revert to my hand to give me a steady tempo. And now we go to Arethia's turn. Arethia is going to go red. She's going to declare end of round next turn. My turn. It's 3 to get in there. One that about recruiting the scouts while I can, and I could always disband them later. Having some meat shields isn't the worst idea. I probably will burn down that monastery next turn. So yeah, we got to do it this way. So I'm going to spend that. Gives me move 4. I'm going to end here. Since I powered it, goes back on top of my deck. I re-roll that. It's green. I draw it back into my hand. Arethia declares end of round, so this is my last turn. So I have a +1 to my reputation, so I'm going to spend 2 influence plus another influence and +1 there, and I'm going to get myself the scouts. Great, movement phase is done, so I can't use the move 2 to kind of see what else is going on, but that's fine. And now we will go along with the end of the round that has been declared by Arethia, because she's evil. Arethia is going to get another red card to her deck, which is far from ideal, and then she will get a green crystal, which is ha 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 ha. So we get a green crystal here. This goes away, down, down, make it good. Oh, Snowstorm is a wonderful card, man. It's funny for me how like cyclical it is. Like there are cards I won't see for a while, then all of a sudden I'll see them like 3 or 4 playthroughs in a row, no matter how I seem to shuffle. It's just really interesting how that works out in my experience. We are going to get rid of planning because that's now out of the game. We're going to have to reset the source because we are going to the first night. It is a green, a red, a blue, and a black. Don't hate that roll. Black's not going to be that useful, but we're fine. This actually should have come over here because we still have a monastery that I haven't burned down yet. So Spellforge goes here. On top of this, we get Blood Ritual. Blood Ritual are pretty strong. It might be a good idea to actually get Ice Bolt if I have the influence. We'll see if there is a unit I can get here in the monastery. The unit offer is going to be Herbalist. Ugh. Udin Crossbowmen, the Guardian Golems. We just saw their nephews, did not get them. Ooh, we could spend influence to get the Magic Familiars. Little mana intensive, and I do not have any crystals, so not sure how that's going to work with this skill here, but I'm intrigued for sure. I'm going to draw up to my hand limit, which is 5. Steady Tempo returns. Tranquility, Instinct. Speaking of shuffling and getting the same cards back. Anyway, that was weird. I might actually get the Ice Bolt because I like that range attack for sure. Little turn intensive though. We don't want to dawdle too long. We still got 3 countryside tiles to get through. And we got to make sure we find this other graveyard, liberate it, and then move on to the Realm of the Dead. So that's set. I'm going to take Long Night as my action. And we'll roll for Arethia. Don't roll a 1. It's a 4. Awesome. So we have preparation and sparing power open to us for next turn. See if I can take advantage of Long Night here. It just will encourage me to play my hand a bit more aggressively. So I am going to be first. I'm going to get Influence 2 from Peasants, Influence 2 from Promise, and Tranquility is not doing much for me right now, so forget about it. I'm going to get Influence 2 more from these guys. I want to save that red for Instinct, and I don't want to blow Steady Tempo at this point, although let me do a movement phase first. So I'm going to do the move 2, and that's going to allow me to explore a tile. It's going to hopefully get some more combat in my deck. Oh, that's a rough placement for that. So I need to either go through that swamp, which will revoke the hags, or I need to go around through that forest. Either way, we're looking at 5 movement to get out of here, which makes me not very happy. This at the end of the turn is going to go on the bottom of my D deck because I didn't power it with the blue. We're now the proud owner of the Ice Bolt, which will go on top of my deck here. So I have 1 card left, which is Instinct, which is good. It's a nice little fighting card because I am going to want to burn down this monastery soon. Oh, wait. I only needed Influence 5. I'm actually going to play Crystallize, and I'm going to power it with a green, get me a green crystal in case I get concentration. That's even better, and we'll still leave a red on the source, and now I can roll that, and it's another red. I'm going to now draw out to my hand limit, which is 5, so it's Ice Bolt, Shocker, Swiftness. Give me concentration. Ooh, mana draw. All right. Well, I don't have a white, but I can use 2 reds, so that's pretty nice. Neither the peasants nor the scouts are going to be of any use to me when I burn down this monastery. Arethia's turn. Arethia gets a blue, gets a green, gets a blue. No more cards come off, so we have 14 cards left in her deck. My turn, burning down the monastery, so 1, 2, 3. Going to get a random Mage Tower Garrison. What do we have? Bam! It is a Savage Monk. So this is absolutely useless to me. If I had 1 white, I would be in good shape because I have the Swiftness and I have this Ice Bolt here, but it's not going to work. But I can use Mana Draw to get 2 dice from the source this turn. I'm going to play Instinct for block 4. I'm going to play Swiftness Sideways for block 5, and now I need 5 attack. I'm going to power Ice Bolt for attack 3, and then we have Rage for attack 5. I'm going to get 4 Fame. I go from 9 to 13. That's out. I'm going to reroll both these dice because I use the basic effect of mana draw. So that's a red and a white. And now I'm going to get my reward, which is an artifact. Again, I'm using my cards very aggressively, but it's easier to do that with Long Night, where you really want to make use of that and have a couple extra turns go our way to try to get some more done in the second round. I'm peeling the top 2 artifacts off here. Now, one of the things that was noted in my Volcari's Return playthrough is I gained 2 artifacts on one turn, and I took 2, kept 1, discarded the other, picked 2, took 1, discarded the other. Artifacts are not supposed to work like that. When I got 2 artifacts on one turn, I should have drawn 3, kept 2, and discarded the other. It actually worked out that the card I took was the Amulet of Darkness. I would have been better off taking the Sapphire Ring, but there is a question. I might not have taken both the Diamond Ring and the Sapphire Ring. The other one was the Soul Harvester, but I think the way that all played out, I would have been okay. The Soul Harvester would have given me a bunch of crystals too. In a vacuum, thinking about I needed to do a big attack in the city and a big attack against the Legion. Should I probably have taken both rings anyway? It's just something to know. It's so rare that you're going to get more than 1 artifact in a turn that I just absolutely forgot that rule, and do appreciate someone who noticed. Actually, 2 people noticed in that video. I made sure they put a comment in. So I had the Banner of Glory here. Assign this to a unit you control. The assigned unit gets +1 armor and +1 to any attacks or blocks it makes. Whenever this unit attacks or blocks, +1 fame. Or units you control get +1 armor and +1 to any attacks or blocks they make this turn. Fame +1 for each unit that attacks or blocks this turn. Banner of Glory could be interesting. Making the scouts have a siege attack 2 instead of a siege attack 1 could be kind of weird. I don't really love the Banner of Fortitude, especially with all the paralyzed. These units might not be around to be healed. So this does say, though, assign this to a unit you control. Once a round when this unit's about to get wounded, flip this card to ignore the wound and any additional effects from it. The unit can still only be assigned damage once each combat. I don't know. They're both kind of eh. They're both kind of eh. I will keep the Banner of Fortitude. Banner of Glory goes away. And now I'm going to draw out to my hand limit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think I'm going this way. Oh, my bad. There's some more things I should have put out here. So we have a Mage Tower will be face down. We have a Ruins, which will be face down because it is night. And then we have an Marauding Orc. Oh, we have our first enemy in pursuit is what we have, ladies and gentlemen. So let me rethink about this. This is face up. It is a Wolf Rider. So I explored that. I put a token on it. So enemy tokens with pursuit will go through lakes. It will go through mountains. So what would have happened is the first turn when I revealed that, as soon as I ended the movement phase of that turn, this dude would have pursued. Now he will never enter the monastery as long as the monastery isn't burned down, because it's a place where interaction can happen. Pursuing enemies will also not enter places which are fortified. However, last turn, I ended the movement phase of my turn. It would not enter in because there was a place where interaction could happen. My next turn, however, it will absolutely try to take me out because there's no longer interaction possible there because I have now burned down that monastery. So I've kind of walked into a fun little rules lesson about how pursue actually works, which is fine. Totally works out. I will be able to handle that for sure. We're going to now go ahead with Arethia's second turn. So it's a blue, it's a red, it's a white, 1 more comes off. I don't have move 5, so I can't really go this way anyway. So the movement phase of my turn ends. I can't even really challenge the enemy because it has pursuit. So the timing is my movement phase, then it attacks me, then my action. But because it attacks me, my action is I have to combat with it. So I am going to now be engaged with this rampaging jerk. I'm going to power swiftness with a white, and I'm going to use the scouts. That gives me range plus siege attack 4, which is enough to kill the Wolf Riders. I get +1 reputation. I get +3 fame. I go to 16. Since I jumped a level, I go to 17. That worked. Also on my turn, I'm going to drop those 2 cards at the end of my turn. I'm going to apply the Banner of Fortitude to the peasants. I am going to reroll that die. It is now a black, and I'm going to do my level up. I'm going to get 2 of my skills. I can throw away a wound to discard a card, or here's a nice strong movement skill. I have so much movement though. I'm very drawn to motivation. Unfortunately, motivation will not allow me to get blood rituals. So I'm going to take the movement skill and grab Blood Ritual. I could grab Magic Talent, but I don't have any crystals to do anything with it. So I don't know if that makes the most sense. This goes here. And now it's Chivalry. Oh, how I love that card. We'll put another one of Arethia's skills in here. What do we have? It is Polarization. I'm going to draw it to my hand limit. Again, it's 5. So Blood Ritual, Blood Rage, Stamina, and March. There's the move 5 I know and love. Move 2 here. I'm trying not to use that up though. This is only move 7, which is probably better than that move 8. It's 1 less, in fact. Really don't like these skills. So let's go to Arethia. It's a white, it's a green, it's a green. One more comes off because there's 1 green crystal. My turn. I'm going to go 2, 4, 5. That gets me in here, provokes combat with the Cursed Hag. So clearly moving a little bit slower than is ideal. Since I came around that wall, the attack is provoked. I'm going to play Cold Toughest for Ice Block 3, so that's blocked. I could take a wound here. I don't know if I want to do that at this point. And I don't need all the mana tokens and whatnot. So I'm just going to power Rage with a red from the source, play Blood Ritual sideways. That gives me attack 5. And the Cursed Hag is now dead. So I'm going to get 3 fame from that, +1 reputation. So I'm back to +1. I roll that. That's a blue. We draw it to my hand limit, which is 5. Just 4 left. However, Long Night triggers. So I shuffle my discard pile. We're going to put 3 cards into my D deck as the remainder of my D deck goes there. And now I can draw up to the rest of my hand limit. So 1 more card. I do think that Mage Tower is very attractive just because of Snowstorm just chilling there. So Arethia's turn. It's a white. It's a red. It's a white. 1 more card. My turn. I'm going to Power Steady Tempo with move 4. This is going to give me move 5. I'm going to move 1, 2. That's going to open this up. It's pay 3 white mana for 7 fame. Don't really love that. I'm now going to spend 2 more points of movement to put out a countryside tile. That will go here. So we have a village right in front of us. We're going to have another pursuing orc. That's going to go there. It's an elementalist. Do I have any attack? Oh, would you look at that? Well, I have this green crystal. I'm hoping not to use it though. Maybe I'll actually roll a green instead when I end this turn. That will be fine. I'm gonna chill here. Really don't like this ruins. I'm probably gonna end around there, see what that Mage Tower is. This is a decent spot. We'll see what's going on in that village. The village will give me some pillaging possibilities. Let me put a shield on this rampaging orc. Moving very slowly. Yeah, let's explore some more, I think. That's move 4. Let me play this. That gives me move 6. I've already used 4, so I have 2 left. That's another 2, so I have 4 left. This is 5 left. So I'm going to move 3 here, and we're going to explore right there. If there's another Mage Tower further along, that could be better. Oh, shoot. You know what there is right there? It's a magical glade, which is going to become a graveyard. And guess what? When I defeat that graveyard, I'm going to get a spell. So I don't even need that Mage Tower. I know what I'm doing, guys. But I don't want to get directly adjacent to that orc just yet either. So I will go here. I'm going to explore there because I have this movement. I might as well spend it to make maximum use of the end of this round here. There are no rampaging enemies on here, but we have another village, we have a keep, and we have a maze and a deep mine chilling over there in the desert. So let me get a keep enemy. We're also going to have to set up the second graveyard. So that's a keep face down. Now we've gone through all the countryside tiles. So again, core tiles can't go on the coast, so they are going to have to go in the center over here. I'm going to put this graveyard here. And the second graveyard gets a green enemy and a brown enemy. So we're going to get this green enemy, this brown enemy, again, chilling in the graveyard. It's what they do. The movement phase of my turn is going to end. Rampaging enemy comes forth. I'm going to re-roll this blue. This goes on top of my deck. This goes here. And now I draw it to my hand limit, which is 5. Gonna have to use this green, I think, unfortunately. I don't want to, but I don't see a way out of it. Shoot. So Arethia's turn. Arethia's gonna go there, there. She's gonna declare end of round next turn. It's nice of her to keep all of her red cards on the bottom. One thing I am thinking is I could just not block, and we'll see. I wonder what this enemy is going to be. I'm just really trying to hold on to every ounce of mana I can get right now. This green crystal would be very, very painful to spend, but there are certainly a lot of brown enemies I'm not going to want to see. I think I risk it. I mean, I'm going to be in a village. Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to play steady tempo and come here. It can't attack me, but I can definitely attack it. So I'm going to attack it from the village. It can't attack me in the village. Why? Because it's a place where interaction can happen. It is a summoner. What is it summoning, kids? Oh, you nasty little jerky jerk. So summoning a werewolf. The werewolf's going to come in. It's going to give me 3 wounds because of 7 points of damage. I'm going to assign 1 to the peasants. Oh, I won't. This is going to flip, so I ignore the wound, but I do take 2 wounds to my hand. I can't assign any more to the peasants, but I can assign 1 to the scouts while we're at it. So yeah, we'll do that. So just 1 in my hand at this point, and that's fine because there's 7, -3 because of the peasants, -2 because of the scouts. So there's only 2 points of damage left. It will just go to me. That's out. Now we're just taking on the summoner. I'm going to use concentration to get a white. I'll use that to power swiftness. I'm going to use this stamina sideways. That is enough to defeat the orc summoner. It gets me +1 reputation. It gets me 4 fame. I go from 20 to 24. I leveled up, so I get another bump. And now I'm drawing up the 6 cards going into the second night, which is amazing. This comes off. He's out. This is going to go to the bottom of my deck. Oh, won't. There's no cards there. So per the terms, you may play this on the bottom of your D deck as long as it's not empty. It is empty, so we can't actually do that. And I'm going to play Tranquility to heal 1 and get that wound out of my hand. That's that. Aretha declares end of round. I am happily going to comply. We are going to re-ready this Banner of Fortitude. Might as well just keep it there on the peasants. It's a nice 3 damage soak. Now you do need to be careful. You can't like double assign damage. So the peasants only have 3 armor. So that's all I could do with the peasants. I couldn't have 3 be absorbed by the Banner of Fortitude and then assign another 3 points of damage to the peasants. That's just not how the banner works, people. We're going to put this D deck here. This unit is ready, although it is still wounded. These come out. We have no core tiles on the board just yet. Getting very close, though. So we have 4 regular units coming out. We have the shock troops. We have the Utham guardsmen, like that I am in a village after all. Another scouts and the foresters, like all of them. But the Utham guardsmen with that block 4 and that 5 armor is really calling my name, people. Actually, if I have 9 influence, remember I'm +1. I might just take the Utham guardsmen and the foresters and call it a day. We have this green coming out. The monastery is burned down, so no more advanced actions in the unit offer. Arethia's deck has been shuffled. Get another green crystal to Arethia's inventory. Burning Shield gets added to the spell offer. The new advanced action is Decompose. So Chivalry still has my heart right now. We're going to draw to my hand limit, which is 6. Threaten. I like the influence. Cold Toughness. Swiftness. Concentration. March. Instinct. We're going to reset the source. It's a white, 2 golds, and a red. That is totally legit because it is 50% basic. I'm going to grab Great Start, people. What else would I grab? Please roll a 6. It's a 1. It's just like a 6 on the opposite side of the die. That's out. I grab 2 more cards. We get Diplomacy and Ice Bolt. Arethia is going to go first. Again, there are 18 cards in Arethia's deck. See what she does with it. She starts it off with a blue, a green, and a red. 2 red crystals, a white, and a blue. So I am going to spend some maximum influence here. Let me spend that for influence 5. Well, let me use the gold. I can't use the golds in the graveyard, so let me remember that. So it's influence 5. Don't love Instinct as a card. I know I've been told I'm wrong about that, but I just don't really love it. So influence 6, 7, 8, 9, +1, influence 10. Since I use a stronger effect of Threaten, I do get reputation -1, but that 10 is going to make me the proud owner of both the Utham Guardsmen and the Foresters. So bye-bye Scouts and your wounded selves. Do not want to worry about healing you. And now we have a ton of damage soak. Foresters, and Utham Guardsman. End of my turn, I'm going to clean up my play area. That's a gold. I draw up to 6, so 1 more card. And then I'm going to pillage the village to get down to 0 and get 2 more cards. Swiftness and a stamina. Really hurting for crystals. Yikes. All right, we'll see what magic we can do. Remember, this graveyard is in a forest, so it's just going to be move 3 to get in there. And hopefully we can take it out in 1 turn, especially with 3 ready units. Arethia is going to go. Arethia gets a green, a blue, and a green. 2 more. So green is proving our nemesis. So she's gone through 10 cards in 2 pulls. So only 8 cards left, which isn't great. My turn. I'm going to move 3. Let's get in there and see what's going on. We are attacking this turn. We have some nasty enemies. So it attacks 6 with brutal, and then we have this dude who is actually summoning a green faction enemy. We'll get their names. So that is a Demande de Song. It has fire resistance, not ice resistance though, but it is arcane immune. So any non-attack, non-block effects will be ineffective against it. And then we have the Shrouded Necromancer. He, again, is going to be summoning a green faction token. He also is fortified. So all my range attack here is garbage. Interesting. I very much cannot do anything about these guys. So let me see what is going to be summoned. The attack is coming from a gibbering ghoul. So I have block 4 for that, so he can just go away. Thank you for playing. But now I have this attack 6. Cold toughness won't work because of the arcane immunity, which again I think is the most nonsensical ruling. But I do have block 3, block 2, and I can play this sideways for block 1. So totally blocked everything. So now I just need 11 points of non-fire attack. Oh, I could have done it this way. Let me not block all that yet. Undo, block, block. Undo, blockity, block. I'm going to use concentration to get a blue, and then I'm going to power Ice Bolt. Well, actually, I'll use concentration to get a white, and then power both swiftnesses. That's enough to kill this dude. Then I can do it this way. I will do the block 3 with the Foresters, play March Sideways for block 1. So that totally blocked the Gibbering Ghoul. And now we have attack 2, attack 4, attack 6. We have wiped out the Necromancer. And then I'll play Ice Bolt to get a blue crystal. All right, that seems to be the most efficient way to do that. I definitely got a little information. It didn't really affect what I should have done to begin with, so I'm not going to be that worried about that. But some people are like, you got information and then changed what you did. Yeah, so technically I should have decided to kill this enemy with the range attack 6 before I pulled the attack for the Necromancer. So that's how that's supposed to go down. So I get 8 fame. I go from 25 to 33. I'm really broken up about it. I know you can tell. We're going to now grab 2 more of these tokens. So what do we get? Ooh, interesting. We have the Vial of Toxin. 1 source of physical attack gains +3, +2 in range, +1 in siege. The bonus is lost if the attack is no longer physical. And then we have this little gem, which I like, the Orb of Twilight. You may change 1 black mana die in the source to gold, or 1 gold mana die in the source to black. Very interesting. All right, so a lot going on there. I'm going to roll this die. It is green. All these cards go away. I'm playing fairly aggressively. Just want to now find the Necromancer's home. Hopefully not get too many pursuing enemies. I'm going to draw it to my hand limit, which is 6. Crystallize, Rage, Rage, Mana Draw, Promise, and Steady Tempo. Remember, night rules are applying in a graveyard. I will start my turn with a black, which I'm going to use to seal. When I seal, I'm going to get the +1 reputation. So let's just pretend I did that in order, because I still don't really understand what's supposed to be going on there. Arethia goes. It is a white. It's a white. It's a red. 2 more coming off. So Arethia went through 15 cards. So it's only going to have 5 turns this whole entire round. So very, very quick movement for her. Get these off to the side. I want to get over to there. I'm going to use Promise and Crystallize for move 2. I'm no longer in a graveyard. Now I got Power Steady Tempo with the gold from the source, and we're now going to go there. I just did some searching. Night rules apply in a graveyard, but you only get a black mana during the night. So I'll have to go back in the video and see how that would have affected the first graveyard, but I'll just play mana draw and I'll pay a green to seal that sucker. I'm sure I gave you a couple of notes about that already, so I'll stop blabbing. So this is going to go here. So Steady Tempo goes to the top of my deck because I did power it with the mana, and now I'm in a village. I'm going to roll that. It's black, and I needed to roll this green. It's gold. So night rules apply in a liberated graveyard, except you only get a black mana if it's the night. I guess, man. Whatever. That's great. Whatever floats your boat. Oh, I never got my reward for defeating the guys in the graveyard, so I should have Snowstorm in my hand. I just checked. I should have had this in my hand instead of Steady Tempo, so I would have just done what I did, and I would have just ended my turn there, and then Steady Tempo would have been drawn. And I just checked again. Tranquility was actually the one on the bottom of my deck. Now that we got that all sorted, Arethia's going to go 1, 2, and 3. She's going to declare end of round next turn. My turn, I'm going to power Steady Tempo with the gold now that I'm not in the graveyard, because Night lose reply, except for the fact that I don't get the black mana. I'll get over it, really. Oh, and I never would have played mana draw either. Yeah, I never would have played mana draw. So I'm going to actually keep mana draw, and the next to last card in my discard pile, I just checked again, was Blood Ritual. Awesome. So these are my cards now. So I'm going to play Steady Tempo, and that gives me move 4. I'm going to play Stamina and Mana Draw, so that gives me move 8. Oh, and I have this, move 9, 10. Oh, that's idiotic. I forgot I had that too. Wow, that would have made some things a lot easier. Don't forget your skills, people. It's a bad idea. Oh, this goes down. This goes over. I moved 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to explore 2 tiles. If I need to, I has to go adjacent to 2. So we have a rampaging dragon on my tail right now. That will be fun. So what is that? It is the fire dragon. We have this mage tower. It's going to be face down. We have a ruins, which will be face up. And I'm going to explore again. Is it the blue city? It's the green city. So the green city is friendly. That means the blue city is going to have to go there, which is going to make the approach really interesting. Oh, it's really bad. So we're going to put 2 rampaging orcs right in front of my face. It's going to go here. That is a prowler or a tracker. I think it's a tracker. And we have here, well, that's the prowler. He's like, did someone call my name? No, dude, no one cares about you. They are both rampaging. Ending the movement phase of my turn. The green city needs to be put on the table. Again, it's friendly, so I'm going to put 1 shield on it. So if I get adjacent to it, it just means I'm drawing 1 extra card. He comes closer. I'm not in a place where interaction can happen, so he's going to come closer. And now I'm fighting the Prowler. It's attacking me 4. I'm just going to wound the Foresters and then play these 2 cards for attack 4. That wipes him out. Gives you 1 reputation, 2 fame. That's a level up, so I get +1 more fame. Out. Rolling both of these dice. It's now red and a white. 2 extra movement is really helpful. Gets a lot more done this round for sure. I'm glad I remembered about the mana draw and getting that back in my hand. So I do my level up. I'm going to get 2 more cards. Ooh, ice attack 2 and some shield. I really need chivalry. That is absolutely the card for me. I don't think Magic Talent is going to do the trick. This will reveal, by the way. I'm going to take the extra attack and I'm going to take Chivalry. I know, like, motivation's really taunting me right now. This comes down. Ooh, dodge and weave. And now I draw out of my hand limit. Arethia declares end of round. Oh, this would have come on top of my deck. So I still have this move 4 again. If I want it, I'm going to end the movement phase on my turn. These guys both come in. I'm going to attack them both. You can do that because they're both adjacent to me. I'm going to play Blood Ritual. I'm going to power at the red. I'm going to take a wound, and I get 3 mana tokens of any colors, including non-basic. I'm going to get a white, a blue, and a green. I'm going to use the blue to power Snowstorm, get range ice attack 5. I'm going to use this. I reduce the armor of that dragon from 7 down to 5 with that skill. So the dragon's out. Oh, that's Assassin, so I can't even use a Banner of Fortitude against that jerk. Oh no! You know what? I knew what was attacking me. I could have done this math earlier. Let me grab the defend skill. So I'm going to do the defend 3. I'm going to use steady tempo sideways for defend 4. So now I only need 3 attack in the attack phase. I'm going to power chivalry, gives me attack 6 or attack 4 and reputation +1 and fame +1 for each enemy defeated by this attack. Well, since we're in the melee phase, it's only going to be this one enemy. So I get +1 fame, +1 reputation, and I defeated the tracker and he's out. And then I'm going to power Tranquility. It gives me heal 2. I'm going to heal up the Foresters and get this wound out of my hand. So Blood Ritual is huge in that situation. I'm going to get a total of +3 reputation, 1 for defeating the Orc, 2 for defeating the Draconum, and I'm going to get a total of 11 fame. So I go from 37 to 48, +1 because I leveled up, and now I get another token. So not in an awful spot, but I do have my work cut out for me. Figuring out how I'm going to approach this city is going to be rough. Going from the bottom is going to be a bad idea, so I don't even think I care about that keep, but this is 10 movement to get through there, so I'm going to need steady tempo early on in my hand. This movement skill hopefully could come in handy. This, I'm going to roll. It's white. Aretha ordered the card down the round. I'm going to take the Banner of Fortitude off and shuffle that back in. I think it will be more useful on a different unit, right? Instead of being on the peasants, if I had it on the Utham Guardsmen, could come in handy. If I go across here, I can put the blue city there, which again will become the Necropolis. I can't explore from there, right? Because it's not adjacent to 2 tiles. So I have to explore from there or there. From the bottom is just a really bad idea. Being the last tile off always makes things a little precarious, but I have a bunch of movement. Remember, the Foresters will help me with the movement by reducing the cost. I still have this move 2. I have this move 1 every turn. I have the peasants, which have some movement. Let me get a new unit offer. I'm going to get an elite because we have a core tile out. So the Ultimate Guardians. I mean, I could, in theory, go into the Green City, recruit that there. +5, +1 because of the shield. So +6. It's not the craziest idea, but it's a super movement intensive. Fire mages. And we have the Northern Monks. Hopefully Aretha slows down, man. She was super fast last turn. She gets a blue and gets a white. Blues would be great. She will not flip over any additional cards on a blue. In some ways, the rampaging stuff kind of works for you because it just makes it a little bit easier just to stand still and still load up on fame. I mean, I'm already at 49 right now. It's pretty gross. This goes here. Power of Crystals and Offering. I'm going to re-roll the dice in the source. It is a red, a blue, a white, and a black. I'm going to draw to my hand limit, which is 6. It's concentration, rage, threaten, stamina, and swiftness. Now the question is, do I want sparing power or do I want to do preparation and get steady tempo? Steady tempo will really help make sure I get to where I need to get on time. I'm not sure how many turns I'm going to have for sparing power either. I think I get the Ultimate Guardians. I think they're just way too good. Way too good. So steady tempo is really enticing. It seems like a waste though. Now I'm going to spare power. I have so much movement in my hand. Well, hopefully I'll pick up steady tempo soon. So sparing power. It does mean Aretha is first though. There's nothing else I would want. Mana Search doesn't make sense. Preparation, Aretha is still probably going first. So I think the upside of sparing power is too great at this point. Aretha, slow down. Give me some blues, yo. Red. No, not blue there. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sparing power. So Aretha has 16 cards left. I'm going to, this is move 1. I need to move 6 more to get in there. I'm going to power stamina. Let's move 4, 5, 6. I'm going to save the Foresters because, again, they work for swamps too. And I'm going to get myself into the Green City. While in the Green City, I'm going to interact. It's going to be +5, +6 because I have a shield on there. Now, remember, my hand draw is going to be 7 next turn because I do have a shield on that city. I'm going to play Threaten. So that's 7, 8. I'm not going to use a stronger effect because I don't have the access to the red. And obviously, I'm going to hold on to concentration. And I'm going to throw away this skill. Again, I don't love it that much anyway. That gives me influence 3 more because it's during interaction. That is influence 11, so I'm going to get the Altum Guardians. I'm going to re-roll that die. It's green. I stay in the city, and I draw to my hand limit, which is now 7 because I'm in the city. So 4, 5, 6, and 7. Not a lot of movement. Foresters are going to be moved 2. I might use Tranquility and draw, actually. I need another movement card for sure. Arethea, white, white, green, 2 more. So Arethea went through 8 cards. Did not pull off any blues, so that's better. I'm going to spare power. All right, we'll do it this way. That village is going to be kind of useless because it just doesn't connect to where the blue city needs to go. So I'm going to use this skill. That's move 2, move 4. That's going to reduce the cost to move it to a swamp to a 4 from a 5, and that's going to be enough to get in there. I still have this. Not healing anything, so I'm going to play Tranquility sideways and this. So I have 6 points of movement total, and that's going to allow me to explore there. Blue City, come on down. You're the next contestant on solo playthroughs. Oh, it's rampaging. That's right. I forgot about that stupid dragon. How did I forget about the dragon, guys? Yikes. That approach from there would have been problematic just because of the lake. So the approach is right. We now get another advanced action on the offer. It's Swift Bolt. Remember, if the dragon attacks me and I don't defeat it, what happens is it will flip over and will not pursue next turn, but I'm going to have to defeat it. So what dragon is it? Be good to me. It's the lava dragon. It's not awful. Only needs 8 points of attack, and I can actually reduce it to 7 points of attack. Obviously can't block it, but have some options. Do have some things here. So we're going to put a token on that. We're going to get the Necropolis here. I can't defeat it in the siege attack phase because it is fortified. It is attacking. It's going to be 12 points of damage. I can use influence as block this turn. That's not great. Oh, this is intense. It's attacking me with 6 fire attack. I'm going to play Diplomacy, power with a white, and I'm going to say ice. So I'm doing 4 ice block, which is efficient. I have 2 more ice block here, so that's 6 ice blocks. So I've actually blocked that dude somehow. And now I'm going to need 7 points of attack. Trying to save all of my units, obviously. I don't love using concentration this way, but I don't see another way. Well, I can use this for 3 points of physical attack in a melee phase. I think that's the most efficient use of that. So that's 5 points of attack, and I'll use the peasants for 2 more points of attack. So that's 7 points of attack. So I lost their movement, but I know I have some strong movement cards still. That 7 points of attack is enough to wipe out this dude. It gives me +2 reputation. I'm already maxed out, and I get 8 fame, so I go from 49 to 57. And I have not played this in a while. I totally forgot that dragon was there. Well, that's the problem. You get the green city with the 2 orcs and then the dragon. It's like, man, you are definitely facing some enemies just trying to get to this necropolis right there at the end. Very glad I got that defense skill. Not something I would normally go for, but working out well. And diplomacy, man, I can't remember the last time I used diplomacy in a game. It's been a long time. My card draw is still 7, so that's 5. Banner of Fortitude. Oh, I could have wounded some units. If I had known you were there, I would have just healed my units and let you wound them. Yeah, that would have been better. So 5, 6, and 7. It's like almost guaranteed that steady tempo is in my sparing power, right? Like there's no chance it's not. Yikes. Trying to think. Just the move 4 is going to be really nasty. Yeah, I wish I attacked with the Utham Guardsmen instead of the peasants now. That would have been the smarter play. Oh, I could have signed the Banner of Fortitude to the Altum Guardians. Oh, that's probably smart. 7. Oh, that's really sick. At least get it out of my hand. All right, Arethea's turn. It's a white, it's a green, it's a blue. Beautiful. I spare power. I'm going to assign the Banner of Fortitude to the Guardians. Not really going to need to be doing a lot of unit healing at this point. I'm going to play Crystallize, and I'll get a red crystal. I'm not moving. I'm going to re-roll that die. It's a green. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. That's a lot of greens, kids. Look at me go. And now I'm going to draw to my hand limit, which is 7. Please give me a movement. Oh, instinct will do. I don't love instinct, but it's just what the doctor ordered in this instance. It's like instinct, but different. Yeah. Aretha is going to go. It's a red. It's a green. It's a white. 2 more. 1, 2. I'm going to go. She's going to go. I'm going to go. She's going to declare end of round. And then I'm going to go. So we have some time, is what you're saying. So I'm going to spare power. I'm going to have the move 1 from this. Just what a garbage source for me right now. Move 2, so that's move 5. I get in here. Now let's set up the Necromancer, right? I'm not battling him this turn, but we are definitely going in for the kill. Next turn, we have to. So if I do level 6, is that totally insane? Nah, it's not terrible. So we are going to have a level 6 Necromancer. That's going to have 1 red token, 1 brown token, and 2 green tokens. Those go there. And we're going to have to battle this dude next turn. I'm only going to draw 1 additional card this turn. It's Blood Ritual. Hey, I'm hoping that I have a move 2 in one of those cards. So Aretha, 3 cards come off. She's going to declare end of round next turn. I'm going to go, and Sparing Power goes away. Oh, look at move. I'm going to hope these enemies are cumbersome. Lot of green movement. Remember, I only need 24 points of attack. The key thing is not getting paralyzed. So I'm going to move 2 and get into the Realm of the Dead. These are the enemies. Remember, the Necromancer attacks at level 6 unless I somehow defeat it in the range or siege attack phase, which I won't, I promise you, but we'll kind of keep track of where his level is. And then we have these 4 enemies. If we don't defeat all 4 of these enemies, it doesn't matter as long as we do 24 points of damage to the Necromancer himself. We have the zombies. We have some stuff, some other stuff. Yeah. How's this going to work? Well, the mummy is going to be attacking with 4 points of damage. That would be 1 wound to my hand and then 1 wound to my discard because it does have poison. This dude has defend. So defend's annoying. So the first thing we attack will have its defense increased once. So if we attack it, that's fine, but we will have to attack something at +1, and then that defense power will go away. And we won't need to worry about it the rest of the battle. When there's multiple enemies with defend, then it becomes kind of a pain. Ultimately, if you don't block it, it's just 1 wound, but then Vampiric is going to increase its own defense by 1. This is going to be 3 separate attacks of 1 each. I'm just going to take advantage of the cumbersome thing and make that go away. I have enough movement. Actually, let me just do that now. So move 2 and then this, that's gone. So zombies are totally blocked. Again, I'm not trying to kill any of them. I'm just trying to get 24 damage on the Necromancer. And then we have this dragon. This dragon is elusive. It's attacking with 8 with Vampiric. So if I take 2 wounds, its armor goes up 2. And remember that its armor is 16 of the elusive. It would go up to 18, or if we blocked it, it would just be the 8. None of this is terrible. That defend's annoying though. I can reduce that armor to a 3, but remember that's still going to apply. Ice block 1 for each ability or color of attack depicted on the enemy token you block, unless it has arcane immunity. So against this dude, cold toughness would give me ice block 5 +6 +7 +8 +9. So I would actually be able to block that dude altogether. I would not be able to block the Vampiric Dragon though, because it'd be ice block 7. So I'd have to actually add more. Now remember, I do have this block skill as well. So all this is looking fairly doable. So let me play Blood Ritual. I'm going to take a wound and then get 3 mana tokens. Of course, I did not pick up Snowstorm. Because why would I? Oh, and then this dude's attacking with attack 6 and paralyze and assassin. So I will need to block at least him. So we have 2 wounds for the Necromancer himself, but I will need to kill someone else before the Necromancer. Otherwise, every level of trying to do damage to the Necromancer will have an additional 1 damage because of that defend power from whatever that enemy is. And that enemy is a corrupted priest, naturally. So we have the white, the black, and I will take red. So if I do mana draw, make that a white, turn this into a white, I will have that with a white mana and that with a white mana. So just figuring out the mana situation. If I block with cold toughness, so I use cold toughness and promise. Again, another situation where cold toughness is virtually just a glorified determination. I'd love an unproved right once in a while. So I blocked the Necromancer because obviously that paralyze and assassin needs to go. Now we got to figure out the rest of it. I will assign this 4 points of damage to the foresters. And I'm not going to attack them. I will assign these 2 wounds. I will take these 2 wounds to my hand. That still will allow me to draw all my cards. And I'll assign this wound to my hand. This goes to my discard pile. I can use this skill to reduce the zombies' armor down to 4. It's going to be a 5 though because of the defend ability. Oh, never mind. I won't wound the foresters. I would have gone to wound the guardians, and that will go away. And now vampiric's not even an issue, but that defend is still super annoying. So let me do this. I'll take a green instead of a red, and I'm going to get concentration. I'm going to power rage for attack 6. Since vampiric doesn't trigger because of the effects of the banner of fortitude, I'm going to then be able to just knock out this dude with attack 6, and physical attack is fine, and we just haven't really been able to use that. And we didn't really use this. Oh, I could keep promise and use this instead. I can keep the blue. You know what? I'm going to not power this. I'm going to do the basic effect of blood ritual. So I take a red crystal to my inventory and a mana token of any color, and I'm going to take the white, and now I'll have the red crystal available for me next turn. So the 3 wounds on my hand. So we'll review this. So I blocked the Necromancer himself with cold toughness and my skill. I used the cumbersome to my advantage, and I was able to reduce all 3 of those attacks down to 0. The corrupted priest tried to wound the altar guardians. That was changed by the banner, so we ignore the vampiric thing, and then I play concentration plus rage to defeat that dude. The mummy gave me 1 wound to my hand, 1 to my discard pile, and then we had the vampiric dragon, which should have given me 2 more wounds. The mummy, I'll have the double wound on the foresters. It's the only 2 wounds I have are going to be from the vampiric dragon, and 1 from blood ritual. Awesome. Glad we got that far. So this dude is dead, so I don't worry about the defend power anymore. And now let's figure out how many layers we can take away from the Necromancer this turn. This is attack 6, attack 9, attack 10, 11, attack 15. So that'd be 4 levels. The sucker would be down to level 2. Let me look at this level 2 attack. Level 2 attack is 6 with vampiric, and it is physically resistant, but I should have a siege attack 8 if I can manage to get a black mana. The physical resistance is tempting. I just need a black mana. I could have ranged attack 8, which would be enough to defeat it in the range of siege attack phase. Remember, I took care of the defend enemy. The problem is I only have the 1 blue. So basically 50-50. If I roll a blue, I'm fine because I do have 1 blue crystal in my inventory still anyway. Problem is if it doesn't work, I think I'm in trouble. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15, 16. That's 4 levels of the Necromancer defeated. So I'm going to put a shield on each of them. We're going to move this token down here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I get 3 fame for each level. I do get kicked back because I failed to defeat him. So I'm going to end up back in that forest. These all go back here. So that's 3 plus 4 levels at 3 each. So that's 15 fame. That gets me from 57 to 72, goes to 73. It will be a level up. I'm going to throw that away. We should have another thing in the offer from Arethia. Not great. I'm going to clean up my play area, get all these skills back. Wait, this does not get... Oh, I'm not rolling the die. I would use the green from the source to make sure I roll a die. Yeah. So this goes here, and I'm going to clean these cards up, and I am going to roll a black or a gold, please. Oh, wait, exactly what I was hoping for. Oh, what do I get? Hey, I can get a blue mana. We're good. I'm going to take my motivation skill. This goes here. And I'm going to take what? I will take dodge and weave. I'm only drawing 2 more cards. Oh, I have motivation now. Never mind. Right. I'm drawing all my cards. So end of my turn, I draw steady tempo, dodge and weave. I flip that. Boom. I have the least amount of fame, so I get a blue mana. You always have the least amount of fame in a solo game. Arethia declares end of round. I'm going to play move 2 to get into the Necromancer's home, and I am going to play both Snowstorm with this blue crystal, Ice Bolt, that is ranged ice attack 4, that does defeat the Necromancer and his physical resistance, so he will not attack in the attack or block phase, which is amazing. So he is defeated. We do have to worry about these other jerks though. So what's going on here? Well, again, that's going to be 1 and 1, 2. I can reduce 2 enemy attacks by 2s, and then I'll play this sideways, so no wounds from the zombies, but I will double wound the Utham Guardsmen, and I will wound the peasants, I'll wound the Altum Guardians, but then they realize, oh wait, our leader is dead, they're gonna flee for the hills, and we stand on top of Mount Necropolis, victorious again. Tovak shows once again that he is amazing. Man, that cold toughness and instinct are both not that great, but sorry, I can't help myself. That was very cool. Kind of a nail biter, just getting used to the pursuit again and remembering, oh yeah, right, there's other things I have to do. But if you look at us being able to go through this dragon, that orc, took them all down, pursuit be damned, and we're able to get in here and had just enough turns and took just few enough wounds, picked up motivation at the exact right time, got that blue mana that we needed to do the ranged attack. Blizzard would have made things a lot easier, wasn't in the cards, but who cares, kids? So we end there, end of our turn. Start of your turn, I would get a black mana there at night. Yeah, it's a fun little change of pace. Definitely we'll come back to it every now and again. Obviously gonna want to do the Hidden Valley at some point now too, to kind of even those out on the channel. Good to see Tovak, good to do something a little different. I am itching very hard to do a solo conquest, so you should see that pretty soon. As always, thank you for all the likes, the comments, and the support of this channel. Any questions, comments, epiphanies, please put them in the comment section below. Any little rules that I missed, definitely feel free to point those out. They can be very helpful for other people who are watching my content, so I do not mind that at all. Just don't be a jerk, please. I mean, most people, it's not an issue. Every once in a while, there's someone and I'm like, oh, dude, like, I do this for fun. It's supposed to be fun. All board games are supposed to be fun. Rule number 1 in solo playthroughs land, right? To take a look at what's going up next, you can go on my Patreon page. There is a link in the description below. On there, you will find my schedule, which I put out about a week before every month, so you can see what's coming down the pipe while you're there. If there is a level of support that makes sense for you, I would love to have you on board. I have a growing group of supporters who have been awesome in allowing me to invest more time in this channel and try to make it bigger and better and more awesome. But honestly, it's these games that make it more awesome, and I have loved the deep dive into all of them over these last 2 years. So here's to many more videos to come, and until next time, happy gaming.